Threads in Java. So before we start, let's see what is thread. Thread is a single process or a program under execution. So that is, one single Java program can be treated as a thread, which has a start and somewhere ending. So once the program starts, it continues till it stops. So what happens? The CPU time will be utilized by the single program only. So because of that, the waste of CPU time, as well as if that thread is blocked due to certain reason or suspended during the execution. So what happens is that entire thread will be stopped. So this is the disadvantages of a thread which is single. Now, if the thread is divided into multiple threads, so that's what we call as multi-threaded environment. So in this, what happens is our single program is divided into many subprograms so that all these subprograms are allowed at a time to run parallelly. So they are called as threads. Now, what happens about the CPU time? CPU time is utilized or shared among all the threads. And if any one of the thread is blocked, only that thread will be paused and all other threads can continue their execution. In Java, how to create a thread? So to create a thread, there are two options. One is we can just extend the thread class, and another one is by implementing the runnable interface. Now, life cycle of a thread. So what do you mean by life cycle? So once the thread is created, during its lifetime, the thread will go through different states. So that is what we call as life cycle of a thread. So there are mainly, you can see here, 5 states. Okay, first one is called as a newborn state, then runnable, then running, blocked or suspended, and the final one is dead state. Now, so as I mentioned these states, so a thread can be running sometimes, or it whenever it gets a CPU, yes, it starts running. Otherwise, it will be in the runnable state. It means it is ready to run, but there is no availability of the CPU time. Now, the running threads also can be suspended or blocked temporarily. Okay, so these suspended threads are not active. So it means they are not doing any activity. Suspended thread also can be resumed or continued. Okay, so that it can continue from where it left off. A thread can be blocked when waiting for a resources. At any time, a thread can be terminated, which stops its execution immediately. Once terminated, a thread cannot be resumed. So only suspended and blocked threads can be continued, whereas the thread which is terminated cannot be resumed. Now let us see with the diagram the life cycle or a different states of thread. Yes, as we have mentioned in the earlier slide, so thread will go through different states. The first state is a newborn state. So you can see here. So here, using, as we have mentioned, using extending the thread class or implementing the runnable interface, we can create a thread. So once we create a thread, that's what we call as a newborn state. A thread is in a newborn state. It's like a baby. So now this thread either can start its execution or it can stop its execution. It means due to certain reasons, the thread may be stopped forcibly or killed. So because of that, it enters into the dead state. So that dead state is the one from which it is not possible to make it run again. Now, start state. What is the start state? Start state means it has two options, either running or runnable. So running means the one which is already with the CPU, and runnable is which is ready. Okay, but CPU is not available. Then it can be due to certain reason, threads can be blocked, and blocked thread also can be continued later or resumed using certain functions as we have given here, like suspend, sleep, wait, and resume and notify to continue the suspended or sleep and waited threads. Now, once that has completed its, completed its execution, definitely it goes to the dead state. So that is what is a terminated state. So this is the life cycle diagram. Now let us discuss, separately. Newborn state means what? So as we have mentioned, newborn state means a thread which is newly born, okay, and it is ready to execute. So it goes to the runnable state. So we have here option, either it goes to runnable state or it may stop its execution due to certain reason. Now runnable state means, yes, the newborn state definitely after creating, it will just in order to start its execution, it enters into the runnable state. So it is waiting for the or availability of the CPU. Now once it gets the CPU, it enters into another state called as the running state here. Okay, so during the running state, so what happens, it can continue running and it can after completion of the execution, it can go to the terminated or dead state, or else it can even stopped using or killed using a stop function due to any reason, forcibly or anything. Now next we have a blocked state. Yes, blocked state means is a thread is said to be in a blocked state when it is prevented from entering into the runnable state or running state. So the thread is suspended. How it can be suspended? How you can block the thread? Yes, using sleep method, or using the wait method, or we can suspend method. So this what we have mentioned here: suspend, wait, and sleep. And they can even continue using a notify or resume methods. Now the last state, dead state. Yes, the running threads ends its life when it has completed executing its run method. So it's a natural death. Yes, it has completed its execution and over, dead. But another way to go to the dead state is, however, we can kill it by sending the stop message to it at any state, so thus causing a premature death of the thread. So that's all. Thank you.